Welcome, everyone, to today's Shaman's Directory live event. For those of you who do not know Wolf yet, let me take a moment to introduce him to you. Wolf Martinez has dedicated his life to learning, honoring, and caring for the living wisdom of the ancient traditions of his ancestors. These teachings guide us to remember that we are related to all that is within the great web of life. They remind us to honor the seven generations who came before us so that we may live in a way that honors the seven generations yet to come with humility, respect, and responsibility. At the heart of these teachings is a deep trust in the Creator and in the love and beauty from which all life emerges, including our shared humanity. Through this path, Wolf has found and continues to find a calling to uplift and support others in whatever way he can. He came to these ways at a young age after a time when he had lost his desire to live. Through these teachings, he discovered a profound sense of coming home, both within himself and the world, remembering that he belongs as we all do. For more than 30 years, Wolf has practiced bodywork, counsel, and other traditional healing modalities, while also offering ceremonies, circles, and retreats. For him, this work and life itself is an ongoing dance of exploration, learning, and discovery. So, Wolf, it is an honor to have you with us today and always, and as a member of the directory, and a joy to introduce you.
hmm Thank you, Trisha. Thank you. It is an honor to be here with you all today. I've thought a lot about, this presentation. So many things that I want to share. And then I found myself, I don't want to really think about it. I want to be in joy. Let's be in joy together. And let's dance and not just talk about this medicine, but embody that. And this all started out with, when Trisha was asking me to do a presentation. I don't know, what was that, a month or so ago? And we were trying to figure out a subject. And she said, "Well, Wolf, every time I talk to you, you're just so joyful. Why don't we just talk about joy?" And I was like, "Oh, well, that's good." And that's how all this got started. And, that really touched my heart, I have to say, Trisha, because I do strive to walk in joy and love and peace and kindness and heart. So I want to ask us all to place our feet on the floor, close your eyes, and I want to ask us all to breathe really deep. Pulling that inhale down to your abdomen. And when you've reached your full capacity, just let go. And the moment you've emptied, fill yourself back up again. And keep breathing that breath of life, pulling that breath of life to your center, which is the home of our spirit, which is where our spirit lives, in the center. Exhaling and just letting go and coming here, being fully here in this moment and in this place. And I like to imagine with that inhale, hopefully you're breathing as you're listening. I like to imagine with that inhale that we're pulling in that golden warm light from Father Sun, the only effort here is to stay focused on that inhale and pull that breath, filling ourselves up with that breath of life. The exhale is just observed, witnessed, and let go, not controlled, completely effortless. And in the exhale, witness your body and your energy and your spirit. You just witness your whole being settling down into Mother Earth, filling yourself up with that beautiful light from Father Sun, relaxing and settling down into Mother Earth. And in this way, clearing ourselves out to become more that hollow bone, to be that meeting place. Inside. And I'm going to sing a few songs to call in the four directions, call in our ancestors, your ancestors, to call in our guides, to call in spirit. Oh, I'm going to put a little more smudge on here too. Putting on some cedar for us. Breathing deep and full. And I want to ask you, as you're breathing, to remember a time that you felt that, ecstasy. And breathe in that ecstasy. And feel that in your body. And what it does to you, what it does to your body and your mind. Feeling that ecstatic joy here and now. he toa wakan tonka he toa he anke ai chikiaio chikiaio he toa hey anke Makata kea he toa he tonka shila he toa he anke chikiaio hey anke kola le miecha e wa lo ai kola le miecha e wa big tai cha he wa lo oi ho kola le miecha kola le miecha he wa lo ai kola le miecha he wa lo ai ho kola le miecha wa o chi a big tai cha he wa lo oi ho kola le miecha wa Hey, wa, hello, oi. yellow hey. Chanu paki le yo ha ho ye wa yellow yo hey oh. Hey oh hey oh hey hey oh 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 hey Wonka tonka oche mala yellow hey Maka kijelo wani wachi yellow hey Chanu paki le yo ha ho ye wa yellow yo hey oh hey oh hey oh hey hey oh 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 hey hey oh hey oh hey oh hey hey oh hey oh hey oh hey oh hey oh hey Wonka tonka oche mala yellow hey Maka kijelo wani wachi yellow hey Chanu paki le yo ha ho ye wa yellow yo hey oh hey oh hey oh hey hey oh 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 Wonka tonka oche mala yellow hey Maka kijelo wani wachi yellow hey Chanu paki le yo ha ho ye wa yellow yo hey oh Wakantanka, Great Spirit. Unchi Maka, Grandmother, Mother Earth. Wopila, 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 Wichisoni Wash Day. Thank you for this beautiful day, grandfathers, grandmothers. Great Spirit, Grandmother, Mother Earth. Thank you for the opportunity to be with all these incredibly beautiful people. We come in a humble and sacred way, grandfathers, grandmothers, in a respectful and loving way. We come, grandfathers, grandmothers, in the name of unity, in the name of humanity, in the name of joy. We open ourselves, grandfathers, grandmothers, to receive your medicine and your blessing. We come, grandfathers, grandmothers, to strengthen and deepen in our alignment with you, to become that much more conscious, awake, remembering and knowing I am one with you. We are one with you. Great Spirit, we are one with you. Mother Earth, and all beings here on Mother Earth. You are a part of us. We are a part of you. Whoa. That fills me with such love and joy in knowing as we go out into the forest, into nature, into the mountain, the desert, the ocean, admiring the beauty that surrounds us, the trees, the plants, the animals, the water, the fire, the wind, the sun, the moon, the stars, all that is. I want to say, Wopila, thank you with all my heart to the ancient ones, to the old ones, the bearers, the keepers of the wisdom and the knowledge of the medicine ways that have passed down this wisdom and knowledge for all of us to remember our place in the web of life, that we all have a place here, and that we all come from Mother Earth, one mother, one father, one heart. And as I think about, all the wisdom that has been passed down for so many generations here in North America, Turtle Island, and beyond, to all the masters, teachers, medicine peoples around the world that have shared, there's so many teachings that, are universal. And one of those teachings is I'm finding, so relevant in this moment, in this time, in this day, in this age, to know ourself. And there are a lot of people out there struggling and suffering and anxiety and fear. And there's a lot of us also wanting to know how to help. What can we do? I have to give thanks for these ways, and for the ceremonies and the teachings that lead us to our center, to the center. And from this place, admiring the incredible beauty, yes, that surrounds us. We come from that beauty. We are made of that beauty. And we come here to express and create more beauty with joy. And that teaching has been one of the teachings that has been so instrumental in navigating these times that can be challenging. That teaching and the knowing that we are the caregivers as human beings. Our original instruction was to come here and to take care of the earth and the fire and the water and the wind, of the people and of ourselves. And I know for myself that when I'm in that place of caring, which I do so much, I don't have any problems, because I'm not caught up in thinking about me, and all my problems. But I'm in that place of our original instructions, which so many people here on Mother Earth have forgotten what our original instructions are. How to be human. What does it mean to be human? It's a big question that has been being asked for centuries. And thankfully, there are those peoples that have held that knowledge, that have kept that knowledge for all of us. Taking care of the people can only be done when we take care of ourselves, right? We have to take care of ourselves. And in this place of reinforcing or remembering or relationship, that's the better word, with Mother Earth and Father Sky, Great Spirit, the love, the source of that medicine. The greatest medicine is love. And joy comes from that. Gratitude comes from that. Trust comes from that. Respect comes from that. Love. And I know for myself, and I can probably say for all of us, walking in that love every moment, every day, well, that's the challenge. But love is not just a feeling. Joy is not just a feeling. It's a choice. It's a way of being in the world. It's an action. It's a tone. It's a gesture. It's a song. And it's a dance. Aho. Yes. And I want to share some of the ways that have helped me navigate. And I invite you to experiment with these things. Try them on. See how it works for you. One of those ways is I strive to meet everything and everyone that shows up with joy. Meet everything that shows up with joy. And there's a ceremony we do called Hambletia. We go and sit in the forest for up to 4 days and 4 nights without food and water, just to hold that chanupa and to pray for the people. And one of the things that we're told when we go out there, no matter what shows up, make friends with it. Another way to say that is, no matter what shows up, meet it with joy. And in this way, I mean, as I've practiced that for years, I recognize that those shadows are there like the light for our evolution, for us, to help us grow. And there's a time and a place to go into those sources of pain and suffering, those places where we're hurting mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. There's a time and a place to do that, and obviously we must do that, because that is the place, in the shadow, in the dark, that is the place of transformation. And I don't know if we can be the embodiment of joy and love if we don't do that work, right? And I don't want to call it work, because it's really about taking care, which comes from love. And personally, I don't see love as work. It's choice. Love is not work. It's just a choice. And knowing the time and the place, the way, the how to meet those shadows, to meet that pain, to meet that suffering, so that we can transform it within ourselves. It doesn't matter where it comes from. Maybe you were hurt, physically, or maybe when you were a kid, or maybe from our ancestors, or from a past life. Or maybe you're feeling what's in the collective. And I feel that a lot of us are feeling that. But if I'm feeling it, it's my responsibility to change that, to transform that, to lift it. No matter where it comes from. If I'm feeling it, I have to do something. I have to change that. And approaching those things. What is it here to teach me? How is it here to help me? How can I grow and evolve and change in a good way from this medicine and explore it like an adventure? It's exactly what I do. Explore it. It's an adventure. And sometimes it might take some days, Sometimes it might take some days, like digging deep. What's the story I'm telling myself that is causing this pain? In an awareness that, when we are really standing with our feet firm on the ground, our roots anchored deep into the earth, with that spine, that's the antenna, right? That's the channel connected to the great beauty above and the great beauty below. When we are standing in that place, we know that the darkness cannot pierce the light. But we also know we're human beings. We're spirit, yes, come here to learn how to be human and to make ourselves more human. That's a teaching I heard from more than a few elders over the years. Human beings are not born, but human beings are made. And we have a choice in humbling ourselves and allowing ourselves to be vulnerable, be humble. And in that place, we meet our true self. And it's not just a matter of meeting, our spirit in that ceremony when, we have that aha moment, who we are. But it's a matter of choosing to spend time with that part of ourself every day. Because if we really want to know somebody and love somebody, the more time we spend with them, the more we learn, the more we know, the more we see, the more we grow. And I say, that part of myself, our true self, our soul, our spirit. And at this stage of my life, I don't know any other way than to fully embrace and love our humanity. And it's through loving and embracing our humanity, settling down into the mother. Relax. It's not reaching up, it's settling down. And she will release our spirit and introduce us to the Father, teach us how to fly. I'm sure there's other ways. I mean, there's so many ways up the mountain, but that is a way that has been effective for me. And I just want to share what has helped me on this great dance of life and to walk in that joy. And sometimes I don't feel like smiling, and especially in those times when I don't feel like smiling, I remember, oftentimes I do remember, just smile. Changes things so quickly. And helps to meet it, whatever it is, with joy. This day and age, so much happening. What is happening in this day and age? What are you aware of? What is the news that you are being fed or consuming or eating? Because we feed ourselves in so many ways, right? Not just with food, but everything we hear, everything we see. And yeah, the system wants to perpetuate and hold us in fear. And there's a lot to be upset about, for sure. It's not about denying what's going on in this society. But there's also the circle is expanding. More and more people are being called to circles like this to heal. I kind of use the word, I don't kind of, I use the word healing hesitantly because it implies there's something that needs to be fixed or something broken. Nah, we were born whole. And through the conditioning of this dominant patriarchal society and the forgetting who we truly are, losing sight of that, it's I've come to see, in the beginning when I first started doing these things, yeah, I was seeking healing for sure. But then I came to realize, oh, this is just remembering what's in our DNA, who we truly are, our ancestors, our true self, to meet everything with joy. We have one life, this life, and we've all chosen to be here. We've all chosen to be here at this time. And we have something to do. And I feel that our soul, our spirit, on some level is aware of that. Maybe on a big level, maybe on a subtle level, maybe unconscious level. Who knows how that is for you? But we have been called here. And I'm not just referring to this incarnation, this life, this time, here now. That, yes, I'm referring to that. But also to the circle and to the ceremonies and to the places we go to remember, to align. And when we go to those places, well, the point I was starting to make, I'm seeing the circle growing exponentially. And Shaman's Directory is a part of that movement. The vision behind this directory is to help the masses have more access to wisdom keepers and traditional ceremonialists and so on and so forth, you know. I don't really think of myself as a wisdom keeper. Well, maybe, I don't know. I'm just a messenger because all of these things that I'm sharing were shared with me. They don't come from me. And these are things that have helped me in my life, and I want to do what I can to help and take care of the people, to fulfill that agreement that we make. And as I see the circle expanding, many different traditions, not just indigenous, also indigenous, but many people, the light is getting brighter. We are in a time of great change, and the shift has happened. Great awakening. The next step in human evolution. We are in that process. But we have to be very mindful. I feel it is really important right now to be very mindful what we're eating, because what we're eating is going to affect our energy. It's not our responsibility to change the world. It's our responsibility to change ourselves, to wake ourselves up, to be the embodiment of that love and that joy. And as we are being the embodiment of that beauty that surrounds us, is within us, that we love, that beauty is loving us even more than we love the beauty. It's loving us even more, crying for us even more. As we wake up to these kinds of realizations and move to feed ourselves in that way, we're also feeding the web of life. Oftentimes I've heard myself say, you know, in this day and age, wishing for, praying for peace, kindness, humanity, joy. Don't just pray for that. Now is the time to embody that, to be that, to become that which you pray for. Because that is what's going to affect those around us and beyond, to the 7 generations that are yet to come and the 7 generations that came before us. And I hear the news, but also a strong teaching that I received many years ago. I was in New York City on 9/11, and a dear elder by the name of Charles Lawrence invited a handful of us that were living in the city at the time to his apartment to smoke the pipe that night. And where I lived at that time in Manhattan, I couldn't see. I was on the Upper West Side, and I couldn't see. I wanted to see with my own eyes that those buildings were. I couldn't wrap my head around those buildings being gone. And so when I got to his apartment and the shades were drawn, I threw the shades open because I had to see. I wanted to see with my own eyes, and uh, and I did. And then he came and he pushed me away from the window and he closed the shades and he said that his Hopi elders told him that two-leggeds cannot look destruction in the face without losing center. That our responsibility is to hold that center, to be informed what's going on, just enough so that we know how to direct our prayer, but not to lose our center. Two-leggeds, whether it's man-made or natural disaster, spending too much time looking destruction in the face, we get caught by the anger, the fear, the anxiety, the worry. Be informed. We have to be informed just enough so that we don't lose our center. I'm not talking about, there's this term being thrown around these days, bypassing. Walking in joy is not about bypassing. It's about meeting everything that shows up open in a way that, when we are steeped in that light, the darkness can't pierce that light. I spent so many years trying to get out of the box and the boxes. I had put so many walls of protection around myself. I had become so imprisoned in my own fear of life. And as Trisha had mentioned in her introduction, I came to a place where I had lost my will to live. And it was in that place that I was invited to ceremony. And it changed my life and opened me up. And I learned that when I'm, when I'm in Mother Earth's embrace, she is holding me. She is holding us. Father Sky, Great Spirit. When we are standing in that light, that alignment, I do the best that I can not to be afraid of how I'm going to be affected, but to have an effect. And I invite people all the time that come here for our ceremonies. Don't be afraid of how you might be affected by those ones that are so negative. Show up in our heart, in our compassion. Maybe offer a shoulder. So it's not about being right. It's about being love. We can either be right or we can be love. And sometimes we have to let go of that need to be right, if we really want to be in that loving relationship. A daily practice, if you don't have one, I know also helps to reinforce that alignment with all that is, all the forces of nature, the beauty that surrounds us, that is above us, below us, that is within us, that we are made of. I know that daily practice, no matter how you wake up, if you wake up, had a bad dream, I don't know, whatever. If you wake up feeling that your fear is greater than your love, take it to Great Spirit. If you wake up feeling your love is greater than your fear, take it to Great Spirit. And give it all away. Give that fear away. You can give it to the earth or to the sun, to the ocean. She can take it. To the fire. She can take it. Ask her to cleanse you. I say her, I'm talking about the waters. Miniwachoni, water of life. Some of the most cleansing waters are those ones that fall from our eyes. Deeply cleansing waters. I'm remembering right now these amazing monks, these Buddhist monks that walked from Texas to DC last month. And the message that they were conveying, a message of peace. How amazing, amongst all this chaos, they just went out in peace, choosing peace, embodying peace. It's that simple to wake up every day and say, today I'm going to be peace. Or today I'm going to be love. Today I'm going to be laughter in the face of whatever shows up. Joy, what I mean by that. And that is something I give thanks for all the time, that we do have choice. If there's anything that you take away from this time today, let that be one of those things that you take away, that you always have choice in every moment. And yes, there's the side of us that gets angry, and there's the side of us that has compassion. We have the choice. How we're going to affect that web of life. How do you want to affect that web of life? Aho me takwi asen. I'll end it there. And I know that Trish had a few questions.
I think you have answered almost all of them. Let me look and see if I have any more here that you have not answered.
I see these exploding hearts. Thank you. Um, I don't know how to make. I don't know how to. How do you guys make that exploding heart on Zoom? I haven't figured that one out. But
I have
my
not
heart's
figured.
exploding.
I know.
Poof. I wish I could.
I love to see them too, and I don't know how to do it either. I think it's at the bottom where there are reactions. It
Yeah.
says send with an effect. Okay, let me see what happens if I do that.
Yeah, that's what happens to me when I do that. What you happened to you there, Trish, happens to me when I do that.
Yeah. Well, I think you actually answered all of my questions. There was a good question that I think we could talk a little bit more about in the chat, which is, um, the idea of how can we not be affected by what's going on in the world? And I think you said it really well by saying we need to be informed just enough, but that the two-leggeds get set off balance when we look disaster in the face for too long a period of time. We can't take it in. And that's normal. I think anybody who isn't affected by what's going on in the world isn't paying attention, you know. But the job is, and when you said we all chose to be here at this time, I believe that as well. And sometimes I look up at the sky and I say, what were you thinking? Like
I've had those.
putting me here at this
I've had
time on
those
Earth.
thoughts.
What were you thinking? You know,
Well,
but
that's just
yeah,
it. Because our spirit doesn't think, it feels and knows, right? It feels and knows. And this is part of, we all chose to come here at this time as part of our evolution, humanity's evolution, and our spirit's evolution. It's the
and it's
thinking that gets in the
yeah,
way.
and it's not an easy job, but practice does make it easier. Yeah. It's not easy to stay joyful and to walk with love in your heart into every situation. But with practice, you can get better at it.
That is for sure. I mean, if you want to be, an amazing singer, you have to sing every day, right? You want to be an athlete, you have to work out every day. You want to be whatever it is you want to do in the world, whatever your passion, your gift, your joy, whatever your joy is, you have to do that thing every day. Our gift, and which I feel is connected to our passion. Gifts are not meant to be held. It doesn't do any good to, love to sing, but not sing for people, right? To just sing for yourself. I mean, that's good too. I sing for myself too, to help me in that alignment, because the songs are medicine. Songs are medicine. But to share that gift is, you know, it's not ours to be held and kept. We have to give it. We have to give that gift, whatever it is. And it's not. I don't think it's not possible to not be affected, but it is possible to choose how much we're gonna allow ourselves to be affected. So if we're paying too much attention to the news, it's gonna bring us down. Then we have a lot to do to. It's about keeping balance. That's what I'm talking about. It's about keeping balance, light, shadow, and it's also about the there's so much that has moved to convince us that we live in a dual reality. But all the masters around through eternity, have talked about non-dual reality. And when we come to see, I mean, there's so much to be said about this subject, which I'm not going to take up all that time, but, um, you know, as I've come to see that the light and the shadow are really working together. Well, there's in that place, that middle place is the oneness, non-dual reality. And this is what I feel or hear through the prophecies from indigenous peoples around the world. This is where we're going as a human family. We're heading into the next phase of human evolution, which is the time of unity, non-duality, non-dual reality. And I keep my eye on that because I'm aware that everything that's happening right now, all the ways in which we are in non dual reality, all the ways in which we have created division, separation, those things are way up, right? Way up. Because we can't change something if we can't see it. We can't change something if we can't talk about it. We can only change those things that we can say, oh, I have this pain, help me. I have this fear, help me. I have this anxiety, I need help with this. Whoever you're talking to, a doctor, a medicine person, psychologist, whatever, whoever you're talking to, Great Spirit, Mother Earth, we have to talk about it. We have to let it out. And that's what's happening on a global scale. The way we've been divided, even from ourselves and each other and nature, is all up. It's part of the process. Everything that's happening is part of the process. Many will fall in the process. Many will not make it through. And one of my elders, or more than one of my, I've heard elders say that those ones also chose to sacrifice their life for the awakening of humanity, to awakening our humanity. And that's not an easy pill to swallow, but it helps to understand that everything that's happening is part of the process. And come back to center. Home Takuyasin.
So many really beautiful comments in the chat. And
Yeah, I haven't been paying attention.
no, that's okay. I'll send you the chat afterwards so you can read them all.
Okay.
Lots of beautiful comments. And I was thinking as you were speaking about the idea of joy being contagious, like negativity is contagious.
Aho.
If you think about workplaces where everybody's miserable or workplaces where everybody's happy, it really is what you bring to your environment transforms it.
I've said for years, Trish, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No.
Um, I've said for years there's only two things that are contagious. Oh, wow. How did you do that? Um, I've said for years there's only two things that are contagious: love and fear. And, of course, science has proved that, there's bacteria and virus and all these things that are contagious. I've been doing healing work for many years, and people come over sick. I am not afraid of getting sick, and rarely do I. When there's things to do, there's things to do. Things to share, medicine. That's not to say I don't get sick ever, because I do at times. I mean, we're all human. It's not doesn't happen very often, but when I do, I know it's my body saying, "Okay, you're doing too much. Slow down." And that's also been helpful for me to refine my ability to listen, not just to my heart and my spirit, but also to my body. I try not to listen to my mind so much. So, yeah, that's what I had to say about that, Trisha. Love and fear are so contagious, and joy. Oh, you know what I was also thinking about? I was thinking about have you ever gone to go visit a loved one in the hospital, sick, or maybe even dying, and they're just like, in that hospital bed, oh, how are you? And concerned about everybody else, and just full of joy. I mean, maybe I would imagine that we've all experienced that. I experienced that recently. My sister was in the hospital, and meeting it, meeting it with joy. And she moved through that, in such an admirable way. I was like, wow, that's my sister. Yeah.
I wasn't going to bring science into this conversation, but since you mentioned it,
Oh, I,
um,
oh, I shouldn't have. I'm
no,
just
no,
kidding.
it's great.
Just
You
joking.
know, this is like we are all about bringing Western practices and traditional medicine together. You know, we need both. There was a study done by Harvard in 2008 that actually proved that happiness was contagious. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just put the link in there. You know, like when you sneeze, you people breathe in what you exhale when you sneeze. And the study says that you actually breathe in particles of happiness when
Mm.
you're around other people. So it's just a really good way to think about when you exhale, other people can actually breathe in your happiness.
I love these studies that have found and proven wisdom that our ancestors have known for thousands of years. And I, I find that so interesting. And the difficulty I have with science, or the Western mind, I should say, the Western approach, is the omission of spirit as part of the whole. Because you can't take spirit out of the equation. It's part of everything that is. And so to study, as an example, the concoctions of the shamans in the Amazon jungle that, found a cure for diabetes, and to break it down chemically and reproduce it, is taking the spirit out of it. So there's no spirit in that medicine. There's no, the essence of those plants, are not there. And I go to these places for medicine that, is now called alternative, which is actually original medicine, not alternative. Home atakuyasu.
I love that distinction that
Mm.
what is now called alternative medicine is actually original medicine. That's beautiful.
I meant to bring this up also. We're in this time right now of great awakening. And that's really what I'm focusing on. That's what helps me to walk through this this day, every day, these times with joy, in the knowing that we're in a time of great awakening. And I give thanks to, to the elders and to the ancient ones, um, you know, prophecies. I give thanks for passing this wisdom down and helping me and us to know, oh, okay, this is where we are, and this is what's happening. Okay, now I'm hearing, sensing, spirit, my ancestors. I don't know. I'm feeling guided to, the message I'm hearing at this time is to go deep, deep, deep into the roots. Deep, deep, deep into the roots, to the ancestors beyond the ancestors that we know their name, way, way back. The 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 the, the further back we go, in our spirit, in our conscious, seeking to wake up that part of ourself, right? Which is in the DNA. That's a part of what's being woken up here, I feel. This time of awakening is the wisdom, the miraculous wisdom that is embedded in our DNA through our ancient ancestors that had access to what Western society refers to as miraculous, was everyday reality. And this is a part of the Great Awakening. Oh.
Thank you so much.
I noticed a few moments ago, I didn't realize my sister was on this call.
Oh,
And then I just saw her hand go up a few minutes ago. She wanted to say something. I'm sure it was in response to that I brought her up. So, um, Deanne, are you there? Did you want to
Hey.
turn on your screen or no?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Good morning.
This is my sister, everybody.
I was just like, you made me cry.
Mm,
Thank you for acknowledging me
mm,
and for being you.
mm,
This was beautiful. And I really needed this today.
mm. Oh,
Thank you. That's it.
oh, oh.
Love you.
Love you too. If anyone have any questions or comments, I'd love to hear your stories or any anything you want to share. I spoke earlier to the realization that the light and the shadow are both working for us to help us. And maybe that was the first step for me in awakening, I guess, or realizing that we actually don't live in a dual reality, but the non-dual reality. But in the traditions in which I have been following, we say metaquiasin, all our relations. And I feel that that is the foundation of these traditions, the Lakota and many indigenous peoples. It's the foundation that we are all related, that I am related to all that is, to all people, two-legged, four-legged, winged, those that swim, those that crawl, those that fly, one-legged, the tree people. Our ancestors, are not just our blood, but those trees are our ancestors. They're old and alive, and the fire, the water, the wind, the sun, the moon, the stars. In exploring that relationship, we we come into a place of realizing we are all one. It's all one. It's all part of the one, the oneness. And I would say that that's been a big part also of the realization that reality uh, is non-dual as many people say, but unity, oneness, homotakwiasin. And everything that you're saying here is refining everything that has been said here to that point. Because everything that I've been saying without saying those specific words is about living intentionally,
Yeah.
choosing, right? The elders always have taught us, we never go to ceremony without an intention, to be aware of
Awesome.
our intention when we go to a ceremony. If we apply everything that we learn in ceremony to life, our life will become much more simple. And because one of my elders would say, there actually is no ceremony. Ceremony is a word that was introduced to us, right? But we didn't call these things that are commonly called today ceremonies. These were just our rites, our traditions. And and if we're going to play into an idea that there's a ceremony, then the real actual ceremony begins when we inhale our first breath and ends when we exhale our last breath. And that is the ceremony. And the places we go that we call ceremony are actually places where we go to reflect on life, to approach it in a different way. And so, if we practice going to ceremony with an intention and apply everything that we learn in ceremony to life, we speak from our heart in the ceremony. Well, if we spoke more from our heart in life, wow, right? This is not me from me, but the first thing I heard is to sing more and dance more and play more. A story about a granddaughter going to her grandmother complaining that she was ill and depressed, and grandma said, "When did you stop singing and dancing? When did you stop playing? When did you stop living?" That's just what I heard as I heard you talking what you said. Now I'm hearing, remembering a teaching that um, if we approach relationship because we have something to give, that relationship is sustainable. If we approach relationship because there's something we want to get, that relationship's not sustainable. That's what I heard when I was listening to you speak. That's a
Yeah,
big, that's a
that's
whole
actually,
nother,
yeah,
that's a whole nother call.
yeah.
But I mean, I thank you for bringing that up because um, that's a big part of what has. I mean, I spoke to it briefly when I said metaquiasin when I was asked about non-dual reality. The medicine wheel has had a role also in helping me realize that we don't live in a dual reality, but there are actually many, many ways of looking at one thing. And so, to say something briefly in response, we are always standing in the center. No matter where we are, we're always in the center. We're not always conscious that we're in the center, but we are always in the center. We have to wake up. We don't have to. If you choose to wake up to the knowing that you're in the center, hallelujah. Um, but when we do wake up to that, we face the directions, to call the directions, right? When we sing that song I sang in the beginning, to the above and to the below. But there's also the awareness that in any given situation, we can look from each of the directions to ourself. If we're confused or overwhelmed or feeling lost or not which way to go, where to go from here, I seek to like see from many different angles and then choose from the angle that feels most beneficial for myself and everybody involved. I know that's not answering your question, but maybe helpful to give you a perspective, because your question is actually, it's a big question. It's a whole nother topic.
Many cultures have medicine wheels.
Yes.
And if there's a culture that you're particularly drawn to, you might want to look into the medicine wheel that they use in their tradition, because there are different meanings for the different directions, different spirit guides, different animal guides, different wisdom that different cultures assign to the different directions. And so it's beautiful to look into a culture that really speaks to you and see what they have to say.
Thank you for that, Trish.
Hmm.
Thank you.
So, I'm so grateful that you brought that up, because there's so many pieces, this subject, the medicine of joy, the medicine of love. I always say to people, the greatest medicine in the universe is love. But, joy comes from that, gratitude comes from that, and how to take care of ourselves, how to love ourselves, how to love the people. It's all relationship. That word's been used here. Well, relationship means to relate, and to relate, is to communicate. To communicate is not just speaking our words, but we have two ears and one mouth. We have to listen twice as much. But the word is so powerful, and I'm so thank you for bringing that piece in. Um, it's so necessary. I'm glad that was brought up before this call ended, because it's a big part of all that we're talking about here, is being more conscious of our words, spoken or unspoken. And if our intention is to have an effect, it's not just on those out there. We have to have an effect on ourselves first. And our words are it's where it all begins. Home at. Our ancestors, I have Spanish ancestry also. Obviously, my name's Martinez, indigenous in Spanish, and I lived with this battle, this internal battle. I didn't see it for the longest time until I did, and and when I did see it, I wanted to deny my Spanish heritage, because of the atrocities. And then one of my elders said, "Well, you'll never be whole. You have to love your whole self, and you have to love all your ancestors." And and you know, I'm so grateful in my life to have met and know some amazingly beautiful wisdom keepers and medicine peoples from not just North America, but from many places. And I've come to know a lot of those wisdom keepers that walk with forgiveness and acknowledgement that we are all one. And find the way to you have to let that weight go. But what you're doing is awesome, and really grateful for what you're doing. Thank you for how you're moving. And Don't carry that anymore. Forgive whatever, whoever, and know that we are here and we are strong and we're not going anywhere. Home itakuyasin. Okay, that looks like there's no more hands.
Is there anything else you'd like to add before we close, Wolf?
I want to sing a song of gratitude. I want to end with gratitude. And I'm going to ask everyone, as I sing this song, I ask you all to unmute and give voice to everything that you're grateful for or that you have joy for. Speak everything that you are grateful for at this time in your life as I sing this song. And I'd love to, because we'll all be putting our voices into this vibration and lifting it up that way. So
Have a video. So after that, only my joy.
Gave me all her love.
Focusing today in this moment.
To the great spirits that all come to me. Blood rising. Grateful people. I'm thankful for everything.
thank you, everybody.